Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon, so you never miss any new updates, cause whenever we upload new video you will get a notification on your phone.
Industrial accidents, protective equipment, medical, health and hygiene. Industrial accidents. A. Definitions. Accident. An accident is an unplanned and undesirable event that results in injuries or harm to people, damage to equipment or material, loss of property or damage to the environment. Minor accident. An accident causing minor damage to material or equipment and assessed as small financial loss or an injury where there is no lost time, can be categorized as a minor accident. A few examples of minor accidents. An on-job injury, which requires first aid treatment only without causing any disablement. Damage to equipment or vehicles, which needs minor repair. Fire in a waste paper basket, which caused no further damage. Spill or leak which can be easily cleaned up and the waste collected does not require any special disposal arrangements. Major accident, any incident, which results in temporary or permanent disabling injury, fatality or significant damage to material, equipment is categorized as a major accident. A few examples of major accident. A fatality associated with KOC operations. Multiple serious injury. Significant adverse reactions from authorities, media, non-government organizations or the general public. Accidental damage exceeding KD 250,000. Oil spills of more than 100 barrels, or less if the spill occurs in a designated environmentally sensitive area. Gas release that prompts either automatic or manual shutdown of a facility. An uncontrolled release of more than 10 tons of a regulated chemical. A motor vehicle accident resulting in total loss or needing major repair. Loss of well control, that is oil well blowout. Near miss, an unplanned event which under slightly different circumstances, could have resulted in harm to people, damage to environment or property or non-compliance with legal requirement. B. Action in case of accident. I. Immediate action. The safety and health of the employees, visitors, and the public must be the primary concern, followed by safeguard and integrity of equipment and environment, immediately after an accident. The first response by concerned employees or contractors' personnel must be to take all steps necessary to provide emergency rescue and medical help for the injured. Take those actions that will prevent or minimize the risk of further accidents, injury or property damage. Inform Bergan Fire Station for rescue and damage control assistance. These immediate actions are a stopgap measure to prevent further adverse consequences. Most accidents will require one or more of the following actions as soon as possible, by asset owners and respective area HSE team in coordination with each other. Secure, barricade or isolate the scene. Collect transient or perishable evidences. Determine the extent of damage to equipment, material or plant facilities. Restore the operating facilities. It is mandatory to carry out investigation for all industrial accidents, incidents, dangerous occurrences, Nearmiss cases as well as motor vehicle accidents. 2. Recording the scene, following the elimination, minimizations, of residual hazards existing at the time of accident. Steps must be taken by the respective area HSE team, to record details, circumstances at the scene of accidents. 2. Preserving evidence. In addition to recording details at the scene of accident, it will be necessary for the respective area HSE team, to identify and collect fragments, parts, hand tools etc. that could be vital evidence to the investigation. C. Damage control strategy. It is extremely important to carry out damage control action so that loss resulting due to the accident can be minimized. The control strategy relevant to various scenarios are summarized hereunder. I. Accident resulting in minor injuries. After arranging the medical treatment for the injured person, and informing Bergan Fire Station, The immediate supervisor shall complete relevant part of incident report form and send it to respective area HSE team within 24 hours for investigation. 2. Accident resulting in major injuries. In the event of serious injury caused to employee, visitor or public, the respective worksite supervisor shall request an ambulance and medical assistance immediately by providing necessary details to Bergan Fire Station, or any future Central Control Headquarter, through available means of communications on the contact numbers as hereunder. 3. Accident resulting in death. Accident resulting in death of employees, contractor personnel or visitors must be reported immediately to Bergan Fire Station. The site of such an accident must be left undisturbed and steps must be taken by respective RHSE team to record details at the scene of accident using suitable photography camera and sketches. However, if leaving the accident site undisturbed may arise or cause further hazards, then the senior-most member of the company, contractor staff present at the location must use his discretion and judgment to take remedial measure for preventing further accident, injury or property damage. Subsequently, incident report form shall be raised by immediate supervisor and forwarded to respective area HSE team within 24 hours from the time of accident for statistical record, advice and further investigation. 4. Accident involving contractors' personnel. Accidents involving contractors' personnel while carrying out work in company premises will be initially dealt as for company employees with the purpose of rescue and damage control strategy. Subsequently, incident report form shall be raised by KOC, job supervisor and forwarded to respective area HSE team within 1 week from the date of accident for statistical record, advice or further investigation as applicable. However, in case of major accident or fatality, the incident report must be raised by KOC, job supervisor within 24 hours from the time of accident and forwarded to respective area HSE team for record, advice and further investigation. V. Non-industrial accidents. Accident resulting in injury to KOC employee during off-duty hours will be reported by immediate supervisor to area HSE team, which may investigate it further if the circumstances requires to do so. Vi. Accidents causing material damage without any injury. Accidents and incidents which has resulted in loss, damage to equipment, materials or environment but no injury to personnel are to be reported immediately to Bergan Fire Station, who in turn will inform area HSE team. Subsequently, incident report shall be raised by immediate supervisor and forwarded to respective area HSE team within 1 week from the date of accident for statistical record, advice or further investigation. 7. Motor vehicle accidents. Motor vehicle accidents resulting in damage to company vehicle or hired vehicles allocated to and driven by company personnel, while on duty, shall be reported to Bergan Fire Station, who in turn will report transport operations, contact number 66107 or 3,982,763, respective area fire station and area HSE team for rescue measure, statistical record and on-site investigation. Subsequently, incident report form shall be raised by immediate supervisor and forwarded to respective area HSE team within 3 working days from the date of accident for statistical record, advice or further investigation. In the event of serious damage, the vehicles should remain undisturbed for on-site investigation by traffic police and area HSE team. In the event of company vehicles breakdown, transport operation shall be informed immediately. The contractor's vehicle meeting an accident in the company premises will also be reported to the respective area fire station for rescue and investigation purpose. The incident report shall be raised by immediate supervisor and sent to the respective area HSE team through the concerned controlling team, within 1 week from the date of accident. D. Reporting an accident, incident and Nearmiss cases. Once the injured have been shifted for medical treatment and the accident site made safe, then formal reporting and investigation must be initiated. Immediate supervisor shall forward the incident report, filling relevant part of incident report form, within the time period for the category of accident as defined above, to the respective area HSE team for statistical record, advice or detail investigation as needed. The incident reporting form, which can be downloaded from KOC HSE website, is enclosed at the last page of this chapter. All accidents involving injury to personnel or damage to the plant are to be reported without delay to Bergan Fire Station, who in turn shall inform the immediate supervisor, respective fire station, safety team and area HSE team for necessary rescue operation and damage control strategy. It is required to inform manager, medical also in case of major events and vital incidents. Team leader, safety will apprise manager, HSE, about the accident. If the incident happens to be of an acute nature, then the respective EMD may constitute a board of inquiry on behalf of the management. The investigation team will carry out a detailed investigation and submit a formal report giving the findings, lesson learned and recommendations to prevent reoccurrence in future. Incident involving contractors' personnel working in company premises will conform to KOC incident reporting and investigation procedure in addition to their own system. The reporting of companies' HSE data, including that of accidents, incidents, to KPC and other external agencies shall be done by corporate HSE group. Accordingly, HSE system team shall maintain a centralized record of such data forwarded by fire team and respective area HSE team. To fulfill this commitment, the respective area HSE team shall submit the weekly report, for the period from Wednesday to Tuesday, in the prescribed format, indicating HSE activities including training details, to HSE system team for further compilation and reporting to KPC through manager, HSE. Accident, incident and Nearmiss investigation. All accidents, incidents, dangerous occurrence and Nearmiss cases must be reported and investigated so that the root cause of each accident/incident, Nearmiss, is established and corrective action taken to prevent its recurrence. Every accident, incident, dangerous occurrence and Nearmiss case shall be thoroughly investigated. It is the responsibility of immediate supervisor to initiate and carry out preliminary investigation, first-line investigation. However, area HSE team will carry out detailed investigation. After immediate damage control action has been taken and site of accident is made safe, the company's site supervisor or immediate supervisor will raise incident report form, within the time period for the category of accident as defined above, and send it to respective area HSE team for detailed investigation, which shall be completed within 5 working days on receipt of investigation report. The concerned team shall cooperate with respective area HSE team to accomplish the task. The respective area HSE team is accountable and custodian of original records concerning all accidents, incidents which have occurred in the asset. The asset HSE team shall also assist on compensation claim and legal requests raised due to incident occurred in their area of jurisdiction. Wherever possible, photographic evidence should be obtained, by respective area HSE team, capturing salient features of the occurrence. The observation and statement of witnesses to the accident must be recorded and authenticated to arrive at the root cause of accident. Wherever possible, the scene of such accidents should be left undisturbed until the initial investigation has been completed. Damaged parts, fragments, items should be retained to assess damage and assist investigation. Accident investigation checklist, to obtain proper information and thereby establish the basic and contributory causes of an accident, a line of questionnaires as listed hereunder to be included as a guideline in the accident investigation checklist. Accident investigation questionnaires. Check detail observation. WHO, was injured? Saw the accident? Was working with injured? Had instructed and, or assigned the job? Else was involved? Knows what happened prior to accident? Instructions had been given. Specific precautions were identified. Specific precautions were taken. Protective equipment was identified for use. Protective equipment was used. Problems were encountered. Training had the employee received. Extenuating circumstances were involved. Did the employee or the witness see? Safety rules were violated. When did the accident occur? Did the damage become evident? Was the equipment last inspected? Did the job start? Was the equipment last maintained, repaired? Was it planned to start the job? Did the supervisor last visit the job site? Were all potential hazards identified, reported? Why was the unsafe act committed? Were the instruction not understood? Was the employee in the position that he was? Was that tool or machine being used? Did not the employee check with the supervisor? Was the supervisor not there at that time? Where is the damage? Did the accident occur? Was the supervisor at that time? Were other persons at the time? Were witnesses when accident occurred? 4.2 Protective equipment. A. Protective clothing. Protective clothing is designed to protect workers from injuries that can result due to contact with hot or cold surface, chemicals, electricity or sharp objects. The company as well as contractor employee working in hazardous area must wear KOC approved coveralls, boiler suites. The personnel working near rotating equipment shall not wear necktie and should properly secure any loose items such as cufflink, strap and rings etc. to avoid being caught in the machinery. The personnel exposed to hot spark or heat radiation shall wear fire retardant clothing. The protective clothing must be kept in good condition and be cleaned regularly. When handling chemicals in any form, rubber or neoprene clothing and gloves must be worn. It is also recommended to wear face and/or eye protection also in such cases. The person should wear a reflective or fluorescent type jacket while working on road. B. Head protection. Helmet shall be worn anytime people are required to be outside offices, control rooms, accommodation area or where there is a possibility of head injury. The helmet shall be suitable and approved for the specific service or potential hazard. Metallic hats should not be worn, as they conduct electricity and retain damage when struck by or against a falling, heavy objects. The helmet should be regularly checked to ensure that there is no visible damage or cracking of the outer shell, and the harness is clean and in good condition. Long hair should be tied up so that it does not become entangled in moving equipment or machinery. Special helmet must be worn when working with chemicals, sprays, shot, grid blasting, welding, etc. C. Ear protection. Ear protector is of critical importance, since hearing loss can be permanent. Where the sound levels exceed 85 decibels, ear protection such as earmuff or earplugs. Plugs are not as effective as muffs for providing adequate hearing protection. Earplugs should be cleaned or disposed of if they become dirty. D. Eye and face protection. Eye protection is required whenever there is a chance that personnel could be exposed to airborne particles or splashing liquids. Safety glasses with side shields are effective in providing protection from flying particles. However, goggles are preferred to glasses as it provides more protection from flying particle and splashing liquids. Goggle can also be worn comfortably over prescription glasses for enhanced eye protection. The goggles, safety glasses must be suitable for adequate protection against light intensities, IR and UV rays, chemicals and abrasive particles etc. Face shields are necessary for some jobs to provide protection to the entire face and eyes while handling any hazardous liquids, chemicals or carrying out welding. The type of face shield needed will depend on the nature of the hazard that may be encountered. E. Safety footwear. Safety footwear must be worn to prevent injury resulting from contact with falling or heavy objects. Safety footwear also provides additional support when walking on rough or slippery surface. High-top boots with extra protection over the top of the foot, containing puncture-proof sole shall be worn as a protective guard against specific job hazard. Safety footwear conforming to ANSI Z41 specs fulfills the industrial requirements in general. Safety footwear should be inspected regularly for signs of damage or excessive wear. F. Hand protection. Hand protection such as suitable gloves shall be worn to provide adequate protection against potential hazard associated with material or equipment being handled. Gloves may be made of cotton, leather, rubber, neoprene or mesh reinforced, for working with sharp objects. Special gloves are required for electrical works. These must be regularly tested by an approved lab for its integrity and potential damage. Gloves used for handling chemicals should be inspected prior to each use and discarded if any contamination of the interior surface is suspected. Additional skin protection can be provided by barrier creams, which shall be used to prevent direct skin contact with crude or mineral oils. In such application, hands and arms are to be thoroughly washed at the end of work. G. Safety belts, harnesses and lifeline. Safety belts and harnesses of approved type must be worn when there is a danger of falling from height. It must be worn also when entering a confined space in addition to appropriate breathing apparatus. In such situation, the other end of lifeline must be held by a competent standby person stationed outside the confined space, keeping constant surveillance of the entrant. If safety belts and harness are used as alternatives to safety nets or baskets, the lifeline must be attached to an appropriate anchorage or winch. The harness and lifelines must be so adjusted and worn that the wearer can be drawn ahead first through any manhole or other opening. The code of signals as summarized hereunder shall be used in such cases. H. Safety nets and baskets. Safety nets or baskets should be rigged where necessary to protect men at work. Safety nets and baskets shall be suitable for the required service and should be inspected for wear and tear each time before using it. It shall be maintained in good condition and secured firmly when rigged up. Safety nets can be used in conjunction with ship's gangway. I. Life jackets and life buoys. The workers must wear life jackets as a protection against accidental fall into water. Life buoys must be also available at work site for rescue and survival contingency requirement. Life buoys should have adequate length of lifeline and a self-operating marker line attached to it. 4.3 Respiratory equipment. Appropriate respiratory protection is to be used where the nature of job involves exposure to chemicals, dusts, vapors, fumes and other toxic substances such as H2S, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide or oxygen-deficient atmosphere. The nature and duration of potential exposure will dictate the type of respiratory protection that can be used. The workers must have adequate training for use of respiratory equipment, its donning, removal procedure, pre-donning inspection, maintenance and cleaning practice. All respiratory equipment must be regularly inspected, maintained and stored in ready condition for use. A. Types of respiratory equipment. I. Fresh air breathing apparatus. It consists of a hose leading from a source of fresh air to the face mask or helmet worn by the user. Air is supplied by a bellows or a rotary pump. The air supply source must be constantly attended to ensure its availability at the required pressure. 2. Self-contained breathing apparatus. The equipment consists essentially of a full face mask, a flexible breathing tube, a pressure gauge, a regulator, an air supply cylinder, a harness assembly and a low-pressure alarm device. There are numerous types of BA sets available and wearers must be fully conversant with the type being used at the facility. SCBA is used where there may be high concentrations of toxic substance, oxygen-deficient atmosphere, levels of toxic smoke, environments considered hazardous to life. After each use, this equipment must be cleaned, disinfected if necessary, recharged with air and returned, ready for use, to its storage location. Frequent inspection is required to ensure that the air pressure is adequate and that the regulator, face mask and harness are in good condition. The wearer should withdraw to fresh air conditions immediately when the low-pressure alarm sounds. The work, which requires wearing of breathing apparatus due to the presence of harmful gases or oxygen deficiency, must be covered by work permit procedure, refer Chapter -8 on work permit system. 3. Airline breathing apparatus. The airline breathing apparatus is similar to SCBA in that it also has a full face mask, a flexible breathing tube, a regulator and a small air cylinder to be used in emergency situation. The major difference is that the air for this apparatus is supplied from a large cylinder, a bank of cylinders or other suitable source connected by hose through a regulator and filter. The airline breathing apparatus is usually preferred for maintenance and repair work where an air supply for longer periods of time is required. The other advantage is its lighter weight and ease of movement. The disadvantage is that air hose can get entangled up in other equipment, and in the event of an emergency, the user must remember to disconnect the air supply line and turn on the small cylinder for escape. 4. Canister-type respirators. The canister or cartridge-type respirators are designed for protection from some dust, fumes and vapors. The chemical cartridge will specify the type of contaminant it is to be used for. It is of critical importance that the contaminant is identified and, in some cases, quantified by professional monitoring, so that proper job planning can adequate and specific protection for personnel. Care must also be taken to ensure that the concentration of contaminant and the duration of exposure do not exceed the capacity of the chemical cartridge. If there is any doubt about the contaminants or the capability of a canister respirator to provide adequate protection, SCBA or airline breathing apparatus must be used. V. Filter-type respirators. Filter-type respirators must be worn when personnel are required to work in atmospheres that are or may be contaminated with harmful airborne dusts and fibers, mist or vapors. The type of respirator selected must be approved for the type of contaminants to which the employee may be exposed. The confirmation is essential, since filter-type respirators are usually designed to provide a specific level of protection against a specific contaminant or hazard. 4.4 Medical First Aid. A. First aid boxes. First aid boxes are supplied to all locations where people are employed, unless medical facilities are within easy reach. First aid boxes should be in the control of a person qualified to render medical first aid and who has been trained by medical department. He must ensure the contents of the box are maintained in proper condition for immediate use and must arrange for medical department to inspect and replenish as necessary. Under no circumstances are medical first aid supplies to be used for any purposes other than first aid. B. Eye baths and wash solution. Eye wash solution and equipment for immediate washing of eye is provided with all medical first aid boxes and additionally in all places where hazardous materials are being handled and eye contamination may occur. Workers in such areas should be familiar with the location of such eye washing facilities and its use in emergency. It is recommended to seek medical advice immediately after eye washing in case of contamination with hazardous material. Eye wash bottles once opened should be disposed and replenished with sealed bottles. C. Emergency showers. In all workplaces where acids, corrosives or other such hazardous materials are used or handled, emergency water shower facilities have been provided and which shall be used immediately in the case of body contamination. It is the responsibility of local supervisors to ensure that these facilities are functional and kept ready for immediate use. D. Health and hygiene. The employees are required to observe all safety, health and welfare regulations, which is laid down by the company. Each employee while at work has to take reasonable care to ensure the safety, health and welfare of himself and other persons who may be affected by his acts or omissions. No persons shall intentionally or recklessly interfere with or misuse anything provided by the company in the interests of health, safety and welfare. The following health and hygiene guidelines must be kept in view while working inside company premises. Where work procedures require the use of protective clothing, etc., respiratory protection or other protective gear, These are to be maintained in a clean and hygienic condition. All persons working inside the company premises are required to maintain a clean and tidy status at their place of work, including for personal lockers, washrooms, laboratories and restrooms, etc. Persons handling or carrying out any work with chemicals, paint, toxic or other harmful substances, or any work involving dust or fumes, must thoroughly wash their hands before taking meals and before leaving work site. Where persons are required to lift or move heavy objects by hand, they should be trained in the correct methods of lifting and or moving such objects. Barrier creams approved by medical department are available at the location where its use is envisaged, however it is to be used as instructed. Hand cleaning solvents approved by medical department are provided in all washrooms and are to be used as directed. The use of non-approved solvents, gas oil, kerosene etc., is forbidden.
Please give comment and suggestions.
Thank you.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for more updates. Thank for visit our channel. See you next class.
Thank you.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon, so you never miss any new updates, cause whenever we upload new video you will get a notification on your phone.